Incredibles 2 is the follow-up sequel to The Incredibles, which came out in 2004. 14 years ago, hard to believe. Last 14 years, we've gotten a sequel for Toy Story, we've gotten a prequel for Monsters, Inc., we've gotten 2 Cars sequels, we've even got a sequel to Finding Nemo, but somehow we have yet to get an Incredibles sequel until now. I was like 11 going on 12 when I first saw The Incredibles back in 2004. I think I can speak for we the people when I say that we the people needed this movie to be good. It was once again directed by Brad Bird. Brad Bird directed the first Incredibles back in 2004, and it brings back some of the voice talent who voiced the characters from the previous movie. And The Incredibles 2 picks up immediately where the first Incredibles left off. If you recall the end of the first Incredibles, there was a situation at the very end of the film where a villain popped out of the ground and called himself the Underminer and started wrecking shit. The Incredibles have to spring into action to try to stop him, and then after that, there's this whole ethical issue of should superheroes be legal or should they stay illegal? After a while, the Incredibles are approached by this billionaire character who wants superheroes to be legal again. He loves superheroes, he supports them, and he wants to change their perception in the eyes of the media. And he thinks the best way to do that is to recruit Elastigirl to do a series of superhero missions that'll get the public back on their side again. So Elastigirl is recruited for these missions, and meanwhile, Bob Parr, aka Mr. Incredible, has to stay at home with the kids. I'm going to do my absolute best to try to refrain from using incredible puns and references when I'm talking about this movie. I know this is something that most other reviewers are struggling with at the moment. It's actually harder to do than it sounds because this film actually was incredible. Damn it, I just did it. This was a great sequel, guys. I had a lot of fun with it, and there are a lot of different ways that this film delivers on what we've been waiting for 14 years. That's really what you want to know, right? You just want to know, does the film deliver? Is the film what we wanted? Yes, it is. The thing that they got right in the first film, they get that even better in the second film, and that is the characters and the family dynamics. It is so great to see these characters interacting with each other. It's so great to see the family dynamic because we get to see them doing a whole bunch of cool superhero shit while at the same time juggling how to handle certain scenarios as a family, and it's a really fun interplay between the characters because we get to see them in both sides of life, the heroes and the civilian life. Another great thing that this film does is the balance that it displays between the characters. Each character and each hero gets their moment to shine. I'm not just talking about action sequences either. I'm talking about sometimes the little moments between characters that are really funny or really heartfelt or really emotional. Each character gets a moment like that in this movie. That's really difficult to do in a movie where you have to juggle them while also juggling a plot and juggling a villain. And I have to say, they did a really good job of pulling that off. I want to single out Elastigirl for a second because Elastigirl was so badass in this movie. She was great in the original Incredibles movie, and she had a big role in that one. But in this one, she gets much more of the spotlight. Kind of a role reversal with her and Mr. Incredible, whereas Mr. Incredible was off doing hero stuff in the first film, and she kind of had to sit at home and wait for things to happen to react to them. In this movie, it's kind of the opposite. He's at home, he has to watch the kids, he has to react to certain things, and she's off doing the hero shit. Elastigirl definitely more than holds her own. She is a badass. She is a certifiable badass in this movie. She is another example of the fact that the Incredibles as a whole, as a family, as a team, each one of them could probably hold a movie by themselves if they had to. She more than holds her weight in this movie, and I gotta single her out and give her some praise for it. Not to mention, that ass. I know, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to be that guy and address this in my review, but Elastigirl has super cheeks. There's just no getting around it. I'm sorry, but if Elastigirl is Nicki Minaj in a stretch suit, how are you expecting me not to react to that or to notice that shit? I remember back when I saw her in the first Incredibles movie, and I was just like, damn, why she got so much ass, though? And it's still here, and it's still glorious in Incredibles, too. I mean, I'm sure there are other guys out there who are just watching Miss Incredible in these movies, and they're just like, damn! I'm just saying, a body like that makes me kind of curious. All of a sudden, I have to wonder, where are you from, Elastigirl? Are you from Georgia? Where are your parents from? What does your mama look like, now that I think about it? I also want to mention Jack Jack in this movie. I'm not going to say that Jack Jack steals the movie, but he totally fucking steals the movie. Jack Jack is hilarious. Jack Jack is awesome. Jack Jack is discovering his powers in this film, and that is a lot of fun. So many great situation-based humorous moments placed throughout this movie, most of which involve Jack Jack. 14 years, the animation has improved tenfold. It's even more gorgeous and even more beautiful than it was back in 2004. If the animation in 2004 was great, then the animation in this film is spectacular. And that just goes with the times because it's been 14 years. We've had a lot of advancements in technology since then. Animation is at its best when it stages these huge action sequences, and the action sequences are even bigger and more badass than they were in the first film. I think what makes these films appeal to a lot of different people is the fact that These films have something relatable to everybody. Everybody can walk out of an Incredibles movie and they can take something different from it, and that's what makes these movies great. It also does a great job at balancing the drama with the action, with the humor, with the heart, with some political intrigue in terms of real-world issues that superheroes might have to deal with in this world. As far as issues with the film, I can say that the film is not paced as good as the first one, in my opinion. It definitely has its lulls, it has its drags. I don't actually remember how long this movie is, but I can tell you that it definitely feels longer. Even though I was enjoying myself for most of the movie, I couldn't help but sit there and think, yeah, well, this is fun and I'm entertained, but it is taking longer. Also, the villain in this film, while I do respect the villain's motivations and I respect certain things that the villain was doing, I do think that the way the villain was set up in this film was very predictable, very clunky. Try to set the villain up like it's this big reveal, and it's actually not a really big reveal. It's really predictable. Like, you could tell who the villain is probably within 10 minutes of the film. Also, this film does feel a little bit formulaic at times because it does borrow heavily from the first film. Don't get me wrong, it tweaks certain things and take certain things in different directions, but it does feel kind of similar to the first one. In fact, sometimes it feels too similar. Definitely made me think of the first film, and I didn't want to think about the first film while I was watching this movie. In the end, Incredibles 2 is an incredible ride. It is one of the best sequels that I've seen. Don't know that I would say it's better than the first Incredibles, but who gives a shit? It doesn't need to be better than the first Incredibles to be a kick-ass movie. Incredibles 2 was incredible, and incredible films on this channel get the Superman Prime rating. Okay, seriously, guys, you owe it to your childhood and your kids and to mankind to go see Incredibles 2 this weekend. Just go see it, please. Pretty please, go see it. Stay tuned for more reviews. Please like and subscribe to the Superfan Show. And as always, if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.